Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to the video for Dragon's Dogma, more specifically Dragon's Dogma 2. This is now a reality, or at least it is in development. Up until now we have had nothing but rumours, but in the presentation Capcom had last night, where they of course spoke about Dragon's Dogma, given that it was recently the 10th anniversary, they, at the end of it, finally confirmed that the sequel is in development. So in today's video I want to quickly recap that event. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. If you are Dragon's Dogma fans, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you're hoping to see in the sequel, and of course don't forget to keep it locked, because as and when we see and hear more from this game, I will definitely be covering it. So to begin with, admittedly right now there is no actual gameplay. There wasn't even a trailer for this one. It is just an announcement. I was kind of hoping they might have dropped, like, even if it was just say 30 seconds or something just to like tease us. However, clearly at this stage it is still very much like in development, so I'm sure at some point they will show more when they're ready. But largely speaking, the focus of the presentation was more so to recap the history and some of the sort of design decisions behind Dragon's Dogma. I'll link the full video down below. It is actually super interesting. It's about 12 minutes long and they kind of sort of go through the process. Largely speaking, it is Hideaki Itsuno speaking, and he basically recaps how he got into game development, spoke about how first he got into it by making, sort of tabletop RPGs. And then when he started working at Capcom, they were sort of initially talking about some different concepts, one of them being a single-player RPG. Initially, in its early stages, they spoke about adding features that allowed you to play with friends, but not in the conventional online manner. However, that idea actually got shelved for a little while he then moved on to work on DMC, worked through DMC 2, 3, and 4, and then after that, when he finally had a chance to actually move on to a new project, he actually asked if he could return to that single-player RPG. It was really interesting because they said that they were talking about the pawn system. I've always wondered why maybe they haven't necessarily gone into conventional, just online multiplayer. And the focus here was always to create a single-player RPG experience, but they still wanted to add features that made you feel like you were playing with your friends. An action game where you play in a party, essentially. And that kind of gave birth to the pawn feature, because of course it allowed you to have these characters that you can create, which of course you would effectively get in a multiplayer scenario, and the way they interact with you in the world, sort of calling out, pointing out things, it's kind of reminiscent of how players, or at least good players, would help you in a team. They again also said there was no point making a standard action RPG. They spoke about how one of the things that often happens in these big scale action RPGs, you fight these epic bosses, giant creatures, giants, dragons and stuff, and half the time you end up just hacking away at their ankles. So they want to at least make it so you could climb and grab things to make it a little different. One of the things I actually didn't know about this game, which is hella cool, they said that the inspiration for the lands when they sort of created them was actually based on a location scout in England. They went through some of the fields in the Welsh countryside, and that basically influenced the sort of direction for the game and of course the sort of creation for the land. So you could kind of say Dragon's Dogma is set in my home country. I mean England, that's Wales, but you get the idea. The point is, that is still kind of cool. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. They effectively then rounded out the presentation by saying Dragon's Dogma 2 is in development. They said they're hard at work and please look forward to future updates. So, admittedly, right now we don't really have anything to go on. They haven't given us a release window. They haven't given us sort of a date for when they're next going to speak about it. So it's going to go quiet for a little while, but at least we have confirmation that it is definitely in development. So, as and when we do find out more, I'll keep you guys posted. But for the time being, just a quick news video on the fact that it is confirmed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you've missed some of our recent videos, you can check out one of these ones, and stay tuned for plenty more.